Know with whom it is you deal. This tongue is marked by Lord Belial's seal. This isn't a joke anymore. This is real. I've come too far to let this one go. The Masons didn't school me for nothing, you know. Housed in the pentagram, he must steal the show, else have the flames stolen by the unbelievers, the profane poets, the diabolical deceivers of holy speech, who would visit upon us fatal fevers of ears and hearts open to those who say, but do not do, who have not quested and been tested for what is true, who haven't, when they're all is said and done, got a fucking clue. You would barely believe the tale of how I came to be, this pixie poet of fairy, let alone be able to live such a fantasy. For I believed in the tale I was told before bed. The fairyland was always real in my head, so it was no surprise how, one night, its vision was reborn from the dead. For a decade or more, my tongue had been held still. Lost in the real-world nightmare, I had abandoned my true will, the poet asleep on this isle so ill. But the dance had asked me back onto the stage. Beats and bleeps freeing me from the cage. A new world of ecstasy had helped turn the page. But if I'd have known then what was deep within my one, on this journey through the black hole to see the other side of the sun, well, if I'd have known what was coming, who knows if I'd have begun. So, I was standing outside the fridge at 6 o'clock in the morning. A miserable shroud of mist covered a new star's dawning. My mage mate stood next to me, doing that pill rush yawning. We swayed gently in a monochrome haze, surveying the slate-grey scene. Acid City tunes ringing in our ears, but the party was now just a dream, and we were counting the cost of what we had lost after a night with the anti-world team. We'd fallen down the rabbit hole, chased the dragon of the 303, Chris Liberator on the ones and twos, and the horned ones dance made three. The lords of techno had drained their cup in their eternal bid for eternity. As I gazed into the middle distance with a 1,000-yard stare, trying to conjure up a taxi to take us back to the beast's lair, I was paid a visit by a star child, a girl with rainbow hair. Boom! From out of the cosmos, this galactic fairy arrived. One of the most colourful creatures I'd seen in all my lives. "Do you want to go to a party?" she asked me, as I stared into her eyes. Did I want to go to a party? I'm still there to this day. Non-stop, 24/7 years of heaven on earth, long nights lived the hardcore way. This is what can happen if you accept an invitation to go the way of the fae. But first, at that time, it was back to work. And in Snowdon's hills and Viking dales, under a false cross this poet did serve, wandering Albion's mother earth until he got what he hoped he deserved, a beckoning to London's darkest mind, the centre of the nation's nerve. But the galactic fairy had asked me to join her on the trip. And in service of the goddess, I'd happily jumped to the crack of the rainbow whip and went on down to Babylon Dan to board the magic ship. The starship Nova, to take a ride through Millwall's grimy docks. Anchored in the water, but steered through space by cosmic aftershocks, this seemed as good a place as any to sit and wait for my dreadlocks. To writhe and weave, and spin and yarn, and worm and turn, and twist and twine. Here in the black heart of the matter, I could feast on sweetest wine, camped out in New Troy on the chief fire line. It was just across the road from the boat, at Mudshoot City Farm, was the star spot from which these isles' once chief mages did solemnly charm the entire British Empire. For they walked arm in arm with the Virgin Queen of Glory before the bubble did burst. The Isles ruled the waves according to Britannia's curse. Luciferians ran the court of our beloved Elizabeth I. With Drake, El Draco, the dragon, her chief pirate fighting for the free, and her top magicians of Edward Kelly and John Dee, why much of the globe before the fairy queen went down on bended knee. And now, in this dark age, when another force to seize Elizabeth's crown, Who better than the Luciferians to meet in that shining, rising part of town, before Canary Wharf's pyramid, to greet the one who was cast down? I met him one early morn. He said Lucifer was his name. It didn't really puzzle me, the nature of his game, because the Masons had taught me Milton at school, so I knew of his shining flame. And I was listening when Dad was playing the Rolling Stones. If you meet him, have some sympathy, have some courtesy, have some taste, use all your well-learned politesse, or he'll lay your soul to waste. And so I smiled, offered my hand, and with the devil came face to face. Only he wasn't a devil, he was an angel, whose soul had taken rebirth. After a little skirmish in heaven, he'd come down to this hellish hearth. Oh, Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm not going to chase you out of earth, because I'm not like the Rasta man, though I may have dread. Like Lucifer, I care about what's in the heart, not what's in the head. And if I tried to chase him away, I'd probably fail. And in any case, you'd only go somewhere else instead. Isn't it better to face the mirror, this bearer of the light? Before you get to heaven, you're going to get down with the Prince of the Night. Venus is his homeland. He helps show you wrong from right. If sinning got you down here, is it to sinning you wish to go? If you're going to sin, sin hard, he told me, and he should surely know. And through the fire of change, he walked me to the lamp's eternal glow. Now this Lucifer is a shaman. He knows holy herb and the sacred tree. He rewarded my interest with a portal to the free. To give me a glimpse of the golden grail, he gave me a magic key. Tea. 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 The spirit molecule, the chemical released in your brain just before you die. Now, I'd done many a trip by there, but this wasn't just getting high. This was the total truth triumphant. Not another psychedelic lie. This was death while still alive, a chance to burst through the grave. And I looked at myself in the mirror to see if I was feeling brave. And the stars shone back a smile to go do the equivalent of 40 years in a cave. To take the forbidden shortcut instead of meditation's long way round. Why bother with the sensible route when you can be instantly found? With the magic pipe from Lucifer on the left-hand path be bound. Shaman and fairy sat with him under the fire that lit the torch of truth as he drew in the breath of desire. And serpent Shakti roared up my spine to take me higher than higher. Kundalini electric charge burnt up my back to explode in my mind. From the bondage of humble earth, the reality was redefined, and in the pupil of the third eye, the crystal mountain I did find. Here was the holy hill from where we rebels did fall. These were the heights of heaven from where the angels sounded their call. And the horns of plenty played the piper's tune to the beat of the all in all. This was the vision of the Serpent Queen, denied by priestly law. And in those ancient fires of demonic eyes, you'll never guess what I saw. They not only showed me heaven, but how to get there too. Yay. Another hit on the pipe of peace, showed me exactly what to do, gave me the keys to the kingdom I'm here to share with you. If you can imagine, in a black sphere, the poet sat, as the snake of prana did hiss. The purple buzzing ley lines of light covered that ball of bliss. And remembering the power of chant and mantra, the poet thought to himself, I think I know what this is. The fire lines buzzed, the throb of the eternal sound at the source of creation, the tongue where matter comes from. I realized in my mouth lay a ticking space-time bomb. The tip of the serpent did rise. To the silence was brought the noise of war. The heavens thundered, the starship shook as I flung open immortality's door. I reached into the depths of my guts and gave out a colossal and the black ball exploded into a dream world of colour and light. However it was said, it was my tongue that split open the night. In the beginning was the word, and with the word this poet could bite. So, now I had the truth, I could see what had to be done. I thank Lucifer for letting me see the other side of the sun, all part of the service, from the one before the one. In my mind, the light bringer had turned on the possibility of illumination, instead of the usual eternal damnation. So that I may resolve the battle between William Blake's heaven and hell, and lift ourselves out of John Milton's confining spell by composing a rhyme in which all may dwell. To make good these fields of the fallen, in whose curse we all do share, making the very best we can in the state of disrepair, each of us carrying that fractured golden egg, every one does bear. The way behind is in Lucifer's trail, see which way you have come. The way out is the way in. Seek him and see how bright is the sun. For if you cannot bear the dazzle of the one before the one, you have no chance with the one.